In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers scratched at the clouds and the hum of ambition never slept, lived an architect named Arthur. Arthur was brilliant. His designs were modern marvels, celebrated for their innovation and audacious lines. He built monuments to progress, but in the process he was deconstructing himself. Every deadline felt like a ticking time bomb, every revision a personal failure. The city he was so busy shaping was also the city that was slowly crushing him. His nights were sleepless, filled with the ghosts of unfinished blueprints and the echoes of demanding clients. His days were a blur of caffeine, concrete, and cortisol. He felt like one of his own buildings, all sharp angles and cold glass on the outside, but hollow and empty within. One Tuesday, a day like any other stressful day, his high-end, state-of-the-art smartwatch, the one that tracked his heart rate, his sleep, his every waking moment, just stopped. The screen went black. For Arthur, it was the last straw. A symbol of the control he thought he had, now just a dead weight on his wrist. Frustrated, he stormed out of his sleek, minimalist office, needing to fix it, to fix something, anything. He didn't go to the official tech store. On a whim, he turned down a cobbled alleyway he'd never noticed before, a relic from a different era tucked between two modern towers. There he found a small shop with a wooden sign swaying gently in the breeze. It read, "Elias and Sons, timekeepers since 1888. Pushing open the heavy oak door, Arthur stepped into another world. The frantic rhythm of the city was replaced by a gentle, steady ticking. Not one tick, but hundreds, thousands, a symphony of seconds, each playing its own part. The shop was a wonderland of time. Grandfather clocks stood like ancient sentinels. Cuckoo clocks waited to sing, and glass cabinets gleamed with pocket watches and intricate timepieces from every era. Behind a worn wooden counter, surrounded by tiny gears and delicate tools, sat an old man. His hair was as white as snow, and his eyes, magnified by a jeweler's loupe, held a deep, calm wisdom. This was Elias. Arthur, feeling out of place with his dead piece of modern tech, awkwardly placed his smartwatch on the counter. "It's broken," he said, his voice tight with impatience. Elias looked up, his gaze gentle. He picked up the smartwatch, turning it over in his calloused hands. He didn't try to turn it on. He just held it, as if weighing its soul. "Ah," he said softly, his voice a low, comforting rumble. "It has no tick. It has only a pulse, a silent one. It measures time, but it doesn't breathe with it." He then gestured to a half-assembled clockwork mechanism on his desk, a beautiful skeleton of brass and steel. "This," he said, "this has a heartbeat. A tick and a tock. It is a conversation. It reminds you that every second is a gift, not a deadline." Arthur was taken aback. He came for a repair, not a philosophy lesson. But something in the old man's calm demeanor held him there. Over the next hour, as Elias tinkered not with the smartwatch, but with an old, beautiful pocket watch, he spoke. He didn't preach. He just shared stories. He talked about the patience required to place a single gear, the focus needed to align a tiny spring. He spoke of time not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a river to flow with. "You see, young man," Elias explained, "we are so obsessed with saving time, we forget to savor it. You architects, you build great structures to last for centuries. But do you give yourself a single moment to simply stand inside them and breathe?" The words hit Arthur with the force of a wrecking ball. He thought of his life, a frantic race from one project to the next, never pausing to appreciate the finished work. He was always chasing the next thing, the next achievement, the next milestone on his dead smartwatch. He had all the success in the world, but none of the peace. He spent his days designing spaces for people to live in, but he had forgotten how to live in his own. Elias took a small silver pocket watch from the display. It was simple, elegant. He wound it, and a soft, rhythmic ticking filled the space between them. "The tick," Elias said, "is the present moment. The talk is the moment that follows. You cannot rush them. You can only live them, one by one. This is the secret. Not to manage time, but to be present in it." Arthur left the shop that day without his smartwatch. He didn't need it. In his pocket he carried the silver watch from Elias. Its gentle ticking was a constant, comforting reminder. He started to change. Small things at first. He would walk to work instead of taking a cab, noticing the details of the buildings he used to rush past. He started taking a full hour for lunch, away from his desk, sometimes in a park, just watching the world go by. He found that the more he slowed down, the more creative and focused he became. The frantic energy was replaced by a calm, deliberate clarity. His designs became even better, imbued with a sense of humanity and warmth they previously lacked. He was no longer just building structures. He was creating spaces for life to happen. He began visiting Elias every week. Their conversations were his anchor. They weren't about architecture or watches anymore. They were about life, about finding beauty in the small things, about the quiet joy of a job done with care and patience. Elias taught him the art of Kairos, a concept of opportune, qualitative time, as opposed to Chronos, the quantitative ticking clock time Arthur had been a slave to. He learned that the most important moments in life can't be scheduled or measured. They are found in the pauses, in the spaces between the frantic ticking of the world. One day, Arthur brought Elias a small, exquisitely detailed architectural model. It wasn't a skyscraper. It was a model of Elias's little watch shop. Elias looked at it, his eyes twinkling. "You've learned to build with heart, not just with your head," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Arthur smiled, a genuine, relaxed smile he hadn't felt in years. He had finally understood. True success wasn't about building the tallest tower in the city. It was about building a life with a solid foundation, a life with room to breathe, a life with its own steady, peaceful rhythm. The ticking of the pocket watch in his pocket was no longer just the sound of passing seconds. It was the sound of his own heart, beating in time with a universe that was no longer his adversary, but his home. He had stopped racing against time and had finally learned to dance with it. So what about you? Is your life a frantic race against a silent digital clock? Maybe it's time to find your own watch shop. Maybe it's time to listen for the tick and the talk, to find the rhythm in your own life. It's not about throwing away technology or abandoning your ambitions. It's about finding the balance. It's about remembering to be present in the life you're so busy building. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more stories about finding peace in our busy world. See you next time.